I'd heard Dr. Decker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike.
You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light, deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing, like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing, like a welcoming sun, like I'm home. And then I wake up. Dr. Decker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money. You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light, deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing, like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing, like a welcoming sun, like I'm home. And then I wake up. It's so beautiful. It calls me. It's like I'm in a trance. What does the dream mean, Doctor? I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Decker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry. I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody? I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget. Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention. Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me wherever I go. It's creepy. I don't want everyone seeing that. They follow me wherever I go. Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor? It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again. They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not run into the same person twice. Yes, I suppose I follow that glow like people follow me. I still don't know what it means, though. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day. Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady. I've had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach? Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine. It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl. Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor? I think you're falling for me, Doctor. Don't let that get in the way of helping me. Yes, they follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance. There was one guy, a real gym body. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy. I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door. Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor. Dr. Decker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor? I can't afford any more sessions, so it sounds like you'll be paying. That's a date, isn't it, Doctor? I'm not sure that's appropriate.
Dr. Decker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any. I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real. Dr. Decker gave me the paper spike to try. It wasn't fake. It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't. I'm okay, I suppose. Works fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. I feel a bit sad, to be honest. I gave all my keepsakes back. Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either. Although, she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday. It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know. I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left. You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better? Seriously? No, that isn't what I meant. That's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now. Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I don't think it's going to work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not going to die anytime soon. It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, it's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality. Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor, do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong? Good, because I really feel this is something I have to do. Well, I've thought about it, and well, I know you said it was okay, that I should keep them, but maybe it did look a bit suspicious, me having things that have belonged to patients who've died in my care. I don't want people to get the wrong idea about me. The locket, the watch, the ring, even the little bird Sarah Decker gave me. I wasn't supposed to mention her. I know it's silly, but those things meant a lot to me. They were reminders that I'd helped those people. Dr. Decker's mother. She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago. Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self. Maybe she's got a bug or something. As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death. That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. And those seem to be the 3 criteria. It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Decker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Decker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with it. Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are. I told Dr. Decker that his mum was dying, that he should see her before it's too late. But he wasn't interested. It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like, it wasn't important. He asked me to take care of it for him. He did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant. It was about the second, third session we had. He said he could tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard about how I could do that. That's how I discovered shifting. All Dr. Decker did was encourage me to think. But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my sister's an empath, but I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Decker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for. I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him, Dr. Decker. It blew my mind. My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things. Mostly about my love life, it would seem. To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is. I should probably Google it sometime.
You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this. And don't try and escape. You're all tied up. Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream? That's a good doctor. Yes, it's all a big dream. So let's get down to business. Do you believe that people can have kinetic powers? And how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them or do we discourage them? Oh, doctor, how disappointing. We've been through this already. Encouraging them to use their power just makes them worse. That's what Dr. Decker did. Look at him now. I thought you were different. Oh, I thought we'd get on, but I'm wrong. Enjoy your sleep, Doctor.
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
I'm sorry.
We've both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind.
I'm not broke.
It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
You may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Morning, Doctor. You're looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Decker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I also got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Decker had... Sorry, you just have to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything though, I'm here.
What's temazepam? Why are you asking? I don't take sleeping pills. Never have done. When you suffer blackouts already, you don't really get offered anything like that. I feel thirsty, Doctor. And hot. Do you have any water? I've been drinking a lot of water recently. I didn't go to the beach. I didn't go to the sea. I said I would, but I didn't. I've been feeling this way for a while. It's like it's getting worse because I didn't go to the sea. It's like I'm having... I don't feel well. I feel sick most of the time, dizzy, thirsty. I got a head fog like you wouldn't believe. My doctor, Dr. Rose, sent me for blood tests. Dr. Rose thinks maybe I have a vitamin deficiency. I can tell she has no idea. She smiles, but she hasn't got any answers. I think I probably need to go back to the beach. The sea, Doctor. It's calling me. This sounds crazy, but I can hear the sea. It's like an alarm going off in my head. Do you know where the sea is? From here? It's over there. Wherever I am, I know exactly where the sea is. It's like a compass. I have this recurring dream. I'm at the beach. I strip and walk into the sea. The sea feels warm and comforting. Not cold and harsh like you'd think. I swim down to the bottom of the ocean. I can breathe freely. I can breathe water. On the ocean floor ahead of me, there is a beautiful creature. A glowing being with wispy limbs. It's so warm. I'm transfixed. But my feet shift. I'm unsteady. Below me, the floor is woven in human flesh. Dead bodies, but some of them still struggling for life. These are the ones touching me, gripping my feet. I scream. That's when I wake up. Do you have that dream, Doctor? I think you're mocking me. I'd like to leave. It's a dream, Doctor. Stranger things happen in dreams. Do you forget anything from our sessions, Doctor? People follow me to the beach. I don't know who they are, and I don't know what happens to them. I don't always get followed, though, so it doesn't explain my blackouts. I said I don't know what happens to them. It's not always to the beach. Sometimes they follow me home. My home is in Chantry. You know that. You rang my doorbell last night. I don't know. I didn't kiss you, but you just followed me, like the others. I don't feel comfortable here, Doctor. I'd like to leave. He lent me some money to start my business. It was a proper agreement. I remember signing things. He thought that a distraction would do me good. I don't think he expected me to trawl the beach for treasure and sell it online. Dr. Decker thought I had too much time on my hands, so a distraction would do me good. He lent me $15,000, all in all. I hear a sound like singing, calling me. It gets stronger when I face it, when I move towards it. That's how I know where the sea is. But when I don't go to the sea, I feel like the sound gets louder all the time. I'm having trouble sleeping. Perhaps I need sleeping tablets after all. I've seen Dr. Decker drink, but not that much. Certainly not during our sessions. He had other things on his mind, I'm sure. If you say so, it must have been your twin then. I don't know if I have a twin. Do you have a twin, Doctor? You're teasing me, Doctor. But it was you. I saw you. No, there's been no dancing. I haven't been feeling that well, Doctor. He's the cute, sad-looking one, isn't he? He asked me out, and I said I'd let him know. Do you think I should go out with him? Okay, but if he goes missing, don't go looking at me. You said it with such a serious look on your face, I almost believed you. It would be good if you had some kind of superpower that helped me, but I don't think so. It's a referral letter, Doctor. Don't overthink it. A girl can't be too careful with everything that's been going on.
I don't want to talk about grief today. I'm getting enough grief from work. I don't know if you know, but Professor Alderby used to be my professor. He teaches history and psychology, amongst other things. I know it's not technically work, but he asked if I would allow him to have the video footage of his sessions with Dr. Decker. Dr. Decker wanted to be removed from all of the videos, so it's jump cut up to jump cut, but I'm sure you've already noticed that. I didn't think you'd mind, since it wasn't your case anyway. Mostly it's the professor talking about how he viewed reality back then, in so much as he thought it was changeable. There's nothing else to do but watch while things are encoding. Psychokinetics, remember? Cult of the Kinetic Mind? Professor Alderby said it was recommended reading to help psychiatrists in their frontline battle with insanity, he likes to call it. Professor Alderby saw the relationship between psychiatrist and patient as a winnable battle. The patient must be cured by removing their psychokinetic ability, if present, either by telling them it doesn't exist or by using another psychokinetic ability to negate it. It's a long time ago, I can't remember all of it. There was a specific example. If someone tells you they can fly, you tell them you control air currents and that from now on they won't be allowed to use them. This would normally stimulate the brain in such a way that the patient stopped thinking they could fly. The main danger as the therapist is believing that you can control air currents. The danger of pretending you have psychokinetic abilities is that you may start believing you have them and then have them. It's the paradox of the cure. Dr. Decker loved paradoxes. His favourite was the grandfather paradox. If you can travel back in time and kill your grandfather, then you cannot be born. But if you cannot be born, then you cannot kill your grandfather. It's a time traveller's chicken and egg, if you will. I don't take sleeping tablets, never have. I'm not allowed to prescribe either. Dr. Decker had me try to forge his signature once, but I was woeful. Some people would say Dr. Decker had a bit of a drinking problem. It got worse and then it got better when his confidence turned up. I think it was the stress of dealing with the new patients. I like the odd tipple. I've been known to drink, not as much at the moment, not as much as Dr. Decker did. He kept at least one bottle in his desk drawer at all times. You can't imagine the amount of times I wanted to sneak in and have some. I suppose it's possible that somebody spiked his drink. Most people probably knew he had a bottle in his desk. Wouldn't have been that hard to empty out some capsules into it. Maybe the police should get fingerprints? I'll go and suggest it. Make sure nobody touches the bottle in the meantime. I have no idea. Maybe he was an undercover secret agent. Maybe he was getting more annoying as time progressed. You're not, though. You're lovely. Is this a good time to ask for a raise? Wow, I was kidding, but thank you, Doctor. I'll take that as a yes. And don't worry, I'll sort it all out. Dr. Decker definitely dabbled in that stuff. I'm not sure to what extent. I like Professor Alderby. He turned me onto that book I've been raving about. The Cult of the Kinetic Mind. I should start selling them myself. Dr. Decker told me he was adopted. His birth mother only turned up 5 years ago because she wanted money for her experimental cancer treatment. I'm not sure how much it cost or even if he had the money, but he didn't do it, and she became one mean mother. There's a lot of stress in here. We're dealing with people's lives. How do you relax, Doctor? I bet you like dance music. I don't know why. I love video games. I just wish they'd make ones with stronger female protagonists. Sorry, I'd settle for any female protagonists. I love food. It will be my downfall. Stress eating is the worst. Mariana thought I played hockey, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Hilda died last night. I was there. Well, I was there as her daughter. It was nice. She had a good death. She got to say what she wanted to say. Hilda was Hilda to the end. I was the doting daughter. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. I love you, Mum. Then Hilda, with almost her last breath, looks me straight in the eye and says, "Don't let them take Amelia." Most people have taken sleeping pills at some time or another, haven't they? It's probably quite easy to get hold of them. Although, I have to get a doctor to sign a prescription if I need any at work. It's probably the same for Jaya. Dr. Decker drank a bit. I didn't say anything about it, but well, it's not very professional, is it? I mean, it's not like he was drunk. It must be very stressful being a therapist. Do you find it stressful, Doctor? I can tell just by looking at you. This job has really taken its toll on you. Jaya seems really nice. I don't know why she'd want to work in a place like this. I just mean, get all these weird people coming here. I mean, I've met some of them out in the waiting room. I know they're just people, but a couple of them have seriously given me the creeps. And she's a slightly older one, isn't she? Always well dressed? Yes, her. I'm pretty good at picking up on people's energy, and hers is bleak. Actually, I think I sort of know her. I saw something in the news about her. Claire Castleford, isn't it? Apparently, she attacked her husband or something. It's funny, because about a week or so after I read that, we had a David Castleford come in to visit his aunt. I think she was with him. Oh, I wonder if it's the same person. I think of Dr. Decker every time one of my patients dies. It makes me remember how he didn't care about his mum. He was a good therapist. He was a lousy son. I was angry at Dr. Decker. Hilda's daughter, she's in Australia, so fair enough. Maybe she really couldn't get over to see her. But Dr. Decker's mum was dying literally on the other side of town, and he just couldn't be bothered. I shifted for her, but in a way I wish I hadn't, because it let Dr. Decker off the hook, you know? I didn't realise how little he cared until I told him the news. You've never seen me angry, have you, Doctor? Don't say things like that when you don't mean them. It causes upset. Amelia's Hilda's dog. She used to have about 9 or 10 of them, all glassy-eyed and creepy looking, with frilly dresses and curls. All over her room they were. In the end, we had to get rid of them. They weren't very hygienic. But we let her keep one, and that was Amelia. I'm keeping her safe until I can pass her on to Hilda's daughter. Maybe she'll fly over for the funeral. I don't know. Are you okay, Doctor? You look a bit pale. Yes, I told Dr. Decker. Most other people wouldn't have believed me, but he did. In fact, he cared far more about the shifting than he did about his mum dying. For a moment, I thought he might cry. just for a split second. But he didn't. He just carried on with our session. I wish I knew what went on there. Jaya probably knows. She spent quite a long time with Sarah when she visited. Yes, once. I wanted to show him what I could do so he could see for himself. I took his hand, I told him to think of a loved one, and then there was nothing. I mean, literally nothing, just an empty void. The only thing I could feel was his hand holding mine. I'm pretty sure without that I'm not sure I could have made it back. Terry hasn't been into work for a few days. I hope there's nothing wrong with her. Terry and I are never going to be best friends, but I wouldn't wish her ill. That's a picture of David, isn't it? David Castleford? Claire's husband. I referred myself because of Dr. Decker's mother. Was I supposed to have a letter?
There's no lake house today, sorry. David's not doing very well. He's caused a problem with the girl. I need to do something. The little girl, our neighbour at the lake house, she says David is weird and creepy.
Doctor! Oh, sorry, but I found some of the referral letters we were talking about. There is a pattern, but it's not the same for everyone. You said to get them to you ASAP, so here you go.
David has been hunting and skinning again. But from the look of the torso, he caught a domestic cat. I'm being generous. It was definitely a cat. I spoke to David about it, but I have no idea if he can comprehend me or not. He just grunts at me. He doesn't even smile anymore. Not at all. Ah, yes, sorry. I left out an important detail. The girl, Anushka, she was crying because her cat had gone missing, and she thinks that David killed it. Doctor, I'm worried. I'm worried that David's not going to stop at cats. He's killed deer, rabbits, wild birds, and now cats. I'm worried he might add little girls to his list. I can't stop him. I can't stop him. I can't control him in any way at all. Ever since I brought him back from the dead, he has done nothing but ignore me. I'm starting to think that I need to put David out of his misery. That I need to end his suffering. That I need to kill him again. What shall I do, Doctor? Should I kill David? Very well. I will do as you say. I suppose I can let this go on now that someone else knows about it. The responsibility of having David is too much for me on my own. Thank you, Doctor. I've tried them before. Dr. Decker gave me a prescription. It didn't help. I've already told you Dr. Decker was a drinker. It's hardly a revelation. David hasn't been well, otherwise I'd taken you. Shall I bring him to you next time? Next time, then. Although it will have to be just you here, and late at night. I can't have anyone else see him. I never talked to Bryce, but I did talk to Iris. She didn't want to at first. She blames me for David's death, but as we both know, that's not a thing. Anyway, she said she was never locked up in any basement and had never heard of any Dr. Decker. So it's, as I first suspected, a lie. You didn't make all of that up so I'd talk to Iris again, did you? Then Mr. Bryce seems to have a few more issues than me. Perhaps you should ask him about that. Oh yes, here. From a few weeks ago. As you can see, Doctor, he looks perfectly normal. Dr. Decker was very quiet in our sessions after seeing David. After a while, he started talking about David like he was a pet, asking me what I fed him, what he'd do in certain conditions. I think he was fascinated with it all, and David and I had become new test subjects for him. When I said David never listens to me, he urged me to start giving David treats for pleasing me. Not in that way, but showing him how to close a door, for example. If he did it, give him a treat. It did actually work, but I had to stop myself. I felt like I was training a monkey. It just wasn't right. Dr. Decker asked me if I'd ever accidentally locked David in, which I hadn't, but curiosity got the better of me. So I locked him in the lake house. He couldn't get out. He didn't have the wherewithal to operate the lock. That's an interesting idea, Doctor. It's not really something that needs to be done, though. I have no intention of reanimating anybody anymore. It hasn't gone very well in the past. My solicitors did refer me, but I ended up going privately as it was cheaper. I'm paying them enough already without them getting a percentage of my therapy bill.
I'm fine. I'm worried. My pursuer in the hour, he's definitely military. I've developed a new skill to deal with him. Last night, I saw him draw something from his jacket. He was approaching me, grinning. I had nowhere to go. So I closed my eyes and imagined, I imagined being back home. And when I opened them again, I'd teleported. I saw Jessica across the street this morning. She waved, but I just crumbled. Ever since I took those photos, I haven't been able to face her. Do you think I should tell her about the photos, Doctor? Yes, you're right. I should tell her what I've done. Or at least let her have the photos. I don't think she's going to be very pleased. But I should be honest. Work is fine. If anything, I've been falling behind again. I think it's the stress of not being alone in the midnight hour anymore. I stole a painting. There, I've said it. It was from the local gallery, Providence. I really like it, but I can't afford it. So I took it. It's just that one thing, just the painting I've stolen recently. I think my new pursuer is unraveling me. Is it okay to steal things, Doctor, if I really like them? I didn't expect you to say that. But I suppose they're just things I'm taking, not people. It's not like I'm stealing people. I never saw Dr. Decker touch a drop. Doesn't mean it wasn't going on behind closed doors, though, does it? My pursuer, he's measured in his approach, watching, testing. When he finally came for me, I wasn't ready. I think he underestimated me, though, and that allowed me to escape. He didn't think I'd be able to just leave. Why do you think he's coming after me, Doctor? Oh, I think I might know. I was as surprised as you are. I just imagined I was somewhere else, and there I was. Perhaps Dr. Decker was right. Think of something, and it becomes real, if you believe in it. But I'll only do it wisely. Imagine the mistakes you might make. Don't want to become one with the igneous layer too soon. These sessions cost a lot of money, Doctor. I'm not just going to leave in the middle of one. But I can see you don't believe me. Do you really want me to teleport, Doctor? Blink, and you'll miss it. Told you. No, I'm not becoming him. I'm not becoming Decker. I think he's death, Doctor. I think I saved that old woman from burning to death in bed, and now he's coming after me to even the score. Do you think it could be death? It's just me. I'm going crazy. I'm so strange. Everything about me is strange already, but to have another presence in my hour, it's unhinged me. Yes, that's David Castleford. I have no idea when it was taken. Shocking composition. No, Doctor. No, you can't. I've seen what you can do. You can listen and ask, but you don't have any real power. I was one of Dr. Decker's first patients. I wasn't referred by anyone. My GP recommended I saw someone privately. I think he was just sick of listening to me complain about how little time I had during our 10-minute slot.
Scarlett, I haven't been in since he died. Since Dr. Decker died. He was a complicated man, as I suppose most people are. His external persona didn't match what he dreamed about. His dreams were amazing, filled with a spectrum of colours and creatures. It was like Narnia for grown-ups. That was in the beginning. I'm a dream walker. I can visit people and help them in their dreams. You've not caught up on all his old patients yet, then? Fluid, soft, intricate things. I couldn't draw a picture if you asked, but they drew you to them. They looked a little strange, but you felt compelled to watch them. Chaotic, dark. Like an earthquake, everything you stood on shifted into something else. I think he was fighting with something internally, and it was winning. I don't know. It's a turn of phrase. Inner demons? Insanity? I don't know. I can visit dreams, but I can't force the dreamer to interact with me. It's something I've been able to do since I was little. I was born an identical twin, and my sister and I shared dreams. We just thought it was normal. When our younger brother started having night terrors, we helped him. I just need to know the person, a little, and know they're dreaming. Then I can sort of jump into them. It's something, I think, in my mind. Firstly, I need to sleep myself. I'm constantly tired, so I can pretty much sleep on demand. Before I go, I think of jumping into that person. That's how it works for me. I've tried teaching others, but I don't know if anyone else can do it. I don't know. Lots of people. Whenever I get close enough to tell somebody about it, the first thing they want to do is try it out or have me visit their dreams. That's kind of why I'm here. Relationships. It's difficult to sustain them. I'm not just talking about romantic entanglements. It's hard keeping friends, too. Like I said before, I tell them about my ability and they immediately want to try it out. The problem is, I don't normally like what I see. I think people try to show off. Firstly, they're a bit shocked if I turn up in their dream. But when they're comfortable with that, they start to put on a show. But most people can't control their dreams, so they tend to turn into nightmares pretty quickly. Oh look, I'm dreaming of a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Oh, why is it destroying New York? When you've experienced someone's dream, if they've been a bit creepy in it or terrified me, it's hard to look someone in the eyes after that. It's embarrassing. What should I do, Doctor? Should I not tell people about my ability? Keep it a secret, bottle it up? I'm not sure that's healthy, but I guess I could give it a try. What if it accidentally comes out? Is there anything else I can do to stop pushing people away? So, if I could breathe through my ears, you wouldn't want to see it. I do say no. A lot. But I usually cave eventually. Double honest. Interesting. I suppose I haven't really tried that. I might just give that a go. It's difficult to do when you experience them like I do. But I know what you're saying is right. A lot of the time I assume people are controlling their dreams like I can. But they're probably directed by their subconscious, and who controls that? He's dead now, so I suppose it won't affect him if I admit to that. So yes, I was. Not near the end, though. Not when his dreams started changing. Like I said, my ability ruins relationships. Who told you? Jaya? Just thought she'd know. Thought she'd know everything about her precious Dr. Decker. Sorry. We didn't speak that much. But she was a lot like the other woman. So much control over someone who was supposed to be her superior. Valentine's Day was awful. I had a bit of an accident with a creme brulee torch and had to spend the night waiting in A&E. I melted a nail to my finger. It hurt a lot and needed stitches. It's all fine now, though.
Sorry, I'm Glenn. I didn't expect to be here. I was looking for the men's room. Like I said, I was in the green room. You know, that new restaurant in town. I actually need to do something. Done. Sorry. I was in the middle of the day and needed the restroom, and here I am. Sorry, you're not familiar with my case. I stepped through the restroom door into your office. Sometimes when I go through a door, it opens to another place. No, I shouldn't imagine she did that. I didn't even pass through the waiting room. Besides, it's lunchtime, she won't be there. No, not really. But it's lunchtime, and you don't normally see patients now. Well, Dr. Decker didn't normally see patients now. Dr. Decker was crazy. I arrived late to the party. Apparently, he was a fine, upstanding citizen before. I don't know what changed him. Of the few sessions I had with him, he'd observed me walking through doors. But I'd walk through a door and I'd disappear. And then I couldn't get back. The session was £150 either way, so I paid that for a couple of times and then decided it was a bad idea. As you can see, it's still happening. The doors. I'm still vanishing from one place to another. My dad died. He was on his deathbed and I was complaining about work, women or whatever. It was an idiom. He said, when one door closes, another opens. Then he died. I needed those words to be important. So here I am. He was stoic. He had tuberculosis in his lungs. That's what killed him. Nobody knew until the end. I never got to say I loved him. Yeah, maybe. He'd split with my mum 3 years earlier. It was messy. It was bad. I didn't talk to him really at all. They called me as next of kin, said I should come in if I wanted to say goodbye. I did love him. He just broke everything. No. I hadn't seen him for so long. I just let it all out. I screamed, I shouted, I punched the walls. Do you know what he said? Sorry. Over and over again. Like he really meant it. He did. He really meant it. And when I stopped, when I was exhausted, he smiled at me. Like he cherished me. Like he'd been waiting to say sorry. Waiting for forgiveness. I didn't get to. I didn't get to say I loved him. I didn't get to forgive him. He just said when one door closes, another opens. And then he died. What does he think of me? All those years, thinking I was the bigger man. It turns out he was. There's no going back, is there, Doctor? When one door closes, it's shut forever. How? How do I go back? I hadn't thought of that. I've just been thinking when I open a door, it goes somewhere else in the present, not in the past. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I'll try that. Now. I'll try that now.
I'm feeling good. I ran into one of your other patients, Mariana. She's beautiful. I think we might go on a date. Temazepam is the same sleeping pill Dr. Decker prescribed me. Why would he mix those with alcohol? People are such idiots. Which reminds me, that truck driver died. Alcohol isn't something I usually notice on people until they're slurring and weaving around. Was Dr. Decker an alcoholic? Probably. I never saw him drink, though. The truck driver that ran into Hannah, he was divorced, apparently. He killed himself. He mixed sleeping pills with alcohol, too. But he died in his garage. I read it in the paper. He'd been drinking. Then he took the sleeping pills. Then he went into his garage and put the hose pipe through his window. Not until he put his daughter in the seat first. It's one of those newspaper stories you read and you hope it says he leaves behind his wife and 7-year-old daughter. But his daughter was in the car. Do you know I wrote him a letter? Dr. Decker told me one of the ways to get through my grief would be to write a letter to the truck driver. I tried to forgive him. I know it was my fault. But the thing that made me feel best was blaming him. I think maybe he killed himself because of me. Do you think I'm to blame, Doctor? His daughter's picture was in the paper. Molly. Ever since I saw a picture in the paper, I've started thinking I could see her, out of the corner of my eye, like she's watching me. Crazy, right? What are you trying to do most? Cure his patients or find out who killed him? It's been nice chatting with you, don't get me wrong, but I can't help but feel you're mainly interested in finding out about the old doctor. I suppose you already know Dr. Decker thought one of his patients was trying to kill him. He told me in one of our sessions, which was later rewound, that someone had been leaving him messages on his prescription pad. Not good messages. He didn't tell me anything specifically. Just death threats. It was one of his many rants. I just sat there quietly, hoping he wasn't going to try and hypnotise me again. I asked him if it was a boy or a girl's handwriting. He said he knew who it was, and that they'd be in trouble. I think he was bluffing. I can't really explain it, but she seems like such a friendly person. I think the police are barking up the wrong tree. I think I've probably said too much. It's probably not the same girl anyway. Please do. I wish I could believe you. My solicitors assured me that I wouldn't have to discuss anything about my trial with you, so I'm not going to. Concentrate on my state of mind, and let me worry about other things.
You said you'd help me with my problem, but he's still here. Dr. Decker, he wants me to kill people. He wants them to follow me to the sea, to the creature. It eats them. It's getting stronger. Dr. Decker says when it's strong enough, it's going to walk again. That's why I black out. He doesn't want me to know. He doesn't want me to remember. I'm feeding a beast that wants to eat us all. You've got to tell me, Doctor. You have got to tell me the truth. You're dreaming, but your dreams are the truth. Don't forget me when you wake. I don't know how I'm in your dream, but now we're together. Let's play a game. I say a word, you say a word. Ready? Guilty. Murderer. That's a good doctor. Now, just give me those 3 little words and I'll let you go. Yes. Yes, you do. You rang my doorbell.
The truck driver
The little girl.
killed himself.
David is weird.
Like she's watching me.
I need to put David
Molly.
out of his misery.
Is it okay to steal things?
Sleeping tablets.
Fingerprints?
Dead bodies.
I saw Jessica.
Should I kill David?
Hilda died last night.
Do you think I should tell her about
Psychokinetics?
the photos?
Dr. Decker seemed to like a drink.
Bit of a drinking problem.
It's probably the same for Jaya.
One of the patients was trying to kill him,
He lent me some money.
leaving him messages.
Creature, human flesh.
I'd teleported.
Do you have that dream, Doctor?
Oh, Doctor. You look... There's something I need to tell you. I can't find Dr. Decker's prescription pad anywhere. I'm not sure when it went missing, but I don't remember seeing it for a while. Yours is there, but I'm scared one of the patients may have got their hands on it. Let me know if you find it, anyway, and ask me about Mariana later. I've got news.
Why would someone steal Dr. Decker's prescription pad? I didn't even know he had one. I prefer actions over words, Doctor. You know that. Wow. That's a low blow, Doctor. And after all our sessions, I'm not a thief. Even the loan, that was just unfortunate. Dr. Decker asked for his loan back after diagnosing me as sane. In his opinion, my blackouts and everything else were fictional. He had no proof, of course, either way, or I'd be cured, but he asked for his money back, and I didn't have it. I'm fine, Doctor. I went to the beach, swam under the sea, and returned to tell the tale. No blackouts. Nothing. I don't dream, Doctor. I haven't dreamed for years now. Yeah. I did say that was a dream, didn't I? Is it easier to swallow, knowing it's the truth? The truth is, I'm not like you, Doctor, or anyone else. I can swim to the bottom of the ocean for hours, and people follow me, even if it's the last thing they do. People follow me into the sea. I don't force them, they just follow to see the creature. I'm not sure what you'd call it. A wisp? A star? It's so bright and warm and loving. I don't know why it leaves me. It only wants the others. It feeds on them. When I look down, I black out. But if I can just keep looking forward, no blackouts, I can just swim back to the top when it's finished. You really want to know? If I look down, it's writhing, just limbs of people from the clubs and the bars. Not just from this week, but last week, last month, last year. They all look terrified, but somehow still alive. The creature, it's all inside them, poking holes through them that they shouldn't have. It just eats them. Slowly. The missing people. That's where they go. I don't know I'm doing it. I swear I don't, Doctor. The creature. I hear it. It's hungry. Nobody can know. It's our secret. I can't explain what happened with John. He followed me back from the bar that night and swam with me under the ocean. I blacked out. He'd gone. You must have read about John in the news. He was a local student who went missing. He was a looker. And he had a way with words, but he was also a cheat. The creature liked eating him a lot. But I can't explain what happened next. I left him to be eaten. And the next morning, he turns up in my bed at my house. He's not wet at all. No signs he's been in the sea, but he has holes in him. Lots of holes. His inside is on the outside. Just ball of tangled worms. And now they're blaming me, but you knew that, Doctor, didn't you? That's why I'm here. They think I killed John. John and some others. They need to know whether I'm insane or not. My lawyer, he says I'm insane, but that he needs you to rubber stamp it. Do you think I'm insane, Doctor? I told you how grateful I'd be. But you need to fix my problem first. If they try me as sane, I'll be in prison for a long time. And then, how would you get your reward, Doctor? It's our secret. What will you tell people, that I'm feeding people to a creature at the bottom of the ocean? What proof do you have? You can't tell on me. You know what you do to me. When you visit, I let you do it because sometimes I'm ashamed of what I've done. You make me feel like I deserve it. You get inside me, Doctor, and it hurts. And you don't care. Why would I do that? Dr. Decker transferred our loan agreement to Claire at Castleford. She bought him out. I owe her the money now. I don't know why she did it, but Dr. Decker got repaid, and now my agreement is with Claire. You should ask her. No. The creature killed John. She's the woman that took over the loan I had with Dr. Decker. You're a naughty one, Doctor. You know you visited my home. Why do you keep denying it? Don't you remember? That's a shame. You had fun. If you can't remember, I'm certainly not going to enlighten you.
I've been reviewing your files. I know, I'm sorry, a bit naughty. But have you considered that Mariana may have murdered Dr. Decker because of the money she owed him? As she had most to gain. She got all the money if he died. And it makes most sense, doesn't it? I'm worried about you, Doctor. You seem quiet and, well, it's just your fingerprints on the bottle. Maybe you touched it by accident? You didn't know him, did you? Then why are your fingerprints on his vodka bottle? No, don't answer that. Oh, the infectious madness of Dr. Decker, who hasn't it touched? I'm so worried. You just seem a little different from the person who turned up all those weeks ago. You don't talk to me as much as you did. You flitter between patients in a daydream. Tell me what things are bothering you. Who measures sanity or insanity? One man's philosopher is another man's fool. I'm keeping an eye on you. I won't let you go crazy. I think I'm okay with the grief now. My mother died suddenly, and I think I was projecting Dr. Decker's death to be about her. I know they're not related. My mother died suddenly, like Dr. Decker. For her, though, it was different. She burst into flames. I was 7. They said she must have been smoking and drinking on the sofa, but she doesn't smoke or drink. Professor Alderby said it was spontaneous combustion. Dr. Decker's prescription pad is still missing. I'll let you know if it turns up. I didn't know anything about that. If I have any grievances with my employer, I spit in their coffee. I hope that's how you like it. Don't become like Dr. Decker. I think that somebody killed him because he was using them. There's some footage I can't show you because it would affect you too much. Suffice to say, When Mariana told him she could breathe underwater, he wanted the same power for himself. So instead of trying to cure her of it, he'd try and amplify it to see how it worked, so he could imagine it for himself. I think he did that with all his special patients. I think he wanted all of their powers. If you believe in that sort of thing. Any patient who presented with psychokinetic issues, they were his special patients. Towards the end, he began ignoring all the other cases. Most of the patients saw it as a curse, what they were experiencing, what they were unwittingly doing. Dr. Decker saw it as an ability, a power to be harnessed and used for, well, God knows what he was going to use it all for. So he made them give in to it, and it consumed them, consumed all of them. Whether you believe any of that or not is your choice, but they did, which made them angry. And that's why I think he was murdered by a patient. It's not your job to find out who the murderer is. It's the police. You can only point them in the right direction. Murder is a means to an end. There's a lot more going on here you should be thinking about. A fictional space god that's resting at the bottom of the Atlantic. It's not likely, is it? Or maybe you think it is. Have you spoke to Mariana today? Your patience will always be a bother, but you're caring for people. We do still care, don't we, Doctor? In a few weeks' time, there'll be a whole new bunch of faces with a whole new bunch of quirks. Let's not have a whole new doctor, shall we?
What about the prescription pad? Someone was sending Dr. Decker death threats. Had no idea. You never said anything to me about it. Yes, I took it. I had to. Dr. Decker told me he could use it to take away my gift. I'm good. I feel better. Last session, that was all negative. I don't want to be like that. I made you something. A little thank you for being so nice. They're cookies. I'm a happy person. And really, what's the point of being miserable? It doesn't matter what's going on at work or anything. Happy is the only goal. Max told me that. I think some footballer might have said it. I told you about Max, right? Didn't I mention him before? Yes, but you don't know the whole story. Max is 77. He was one of my patients. I thought he was dying, so I shifted for him. Became an old sweetheart of his, apparently. Only Max didn't die. He actually got better somehow, and then he came and asked me to do it again. Eleanor, her name was, or is. Like I say, he doesn't even know where she is now. But she obviously still loves him. When I shifted, I felt all fluttery and excited. It's so sweet, isn't it? Yes, Max and Eleanor had dinner on Valentine's Day. I felt a bit weird when he asked me, but he said he just wanted to have one more date with her and then he wouldn't ask me again. And to be fair, he was a perfect gentleman. I mean, I didn't want to have that conversation. I suppose he was just trying to cure me. I mean, I thought he believed that I could shift, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he was just humouring me the whole time. I could never hurt anyone. You have to believe me, Doctor. You're very welcome. The usual stuff. Flour, sugar, butter, chocolate chips, and my special ingredient. A little herbalist magic to give you some pep. You look like you need it. You can put herbal remedies in food. The effect's more subtle, but it does work. Thing is, because Max didn't die, he saw me change back after I let go of his hand. There wasn't anything I could do about it. I don't know why Max didn't die. It usually works. I just mean when I shift. They see their loved one and say what they have to say, and then there's nothing stopping them from moving on. Why? What did you think I meant?
I'm fine. I killed David. Again. He went too far. David is a monster. Anushka, she's hanging up. David hunted her and hung her up like an animal. Doctor, I think I'm going to be sick. I can't talk about this. Let's talk about something else, please. Like my diagnosis. You promised you'd diagnose me as temporarily insane. You can't go back on that now. Oh, the continuing saga of Dr. Decker. After he'd seen David and done his due diligence, he came up with an offer I couldn't refuse. Remember? The one I told you about when we first met. I never saw Dr. Decker's prescription pad. I imagine he kept it hidden away. To stop people stealing it? I've already told you, I never saw his prescription pad, so of course I didn't write any death threats. It sounds like someone is trying to frame me. Who's trying to frame me, Doctor? It's true. I didn't see the prescription pad. He gave me that prescription for the sleeping tablets just as I was leaving one day. He said it was worth trying them, but I wasn't sold. Dr. Decker wanted me to reanimate him. He said he would kill David unless I agreed. He called me on Valentine's night. He promised to use a disposable phone so there would be no trace. I was supposed to come here, where I would find him dead, and then reanimate him. I agreed immediately. It seems that Dr. Decker went through with his half of the agreement. But I forgot to turn up. With an axe. I got him to put his head on the wood block. He didn't really know what he was doing. He trusted me. I cut off his head. When I picked it up, he was smiling. Probably a muscle spasm. I don't really know the girl, but I did buy out her loan from Dr. Decker. I mainly did it to shut him up about it. But can you imagine having him as a creditor? That poor girl. I hope it didn't accrue anything more than interest. Yes, Dr. Decker threatened to kill David. That terrified me at the time. I still had hope that David would recover. Doctor, did I tell you about that time that I used the power of my mind to bring my husband back to life? I can't imagine what I'd do to the psychiatrist that double-crossed me. But I'm sure it will be fun. For me, at least.
I'm not feeling very well. I tried to sleep through the midnight hour, and I slept for 8 hours. When I woke up, it was looking at me. That thing was looking at me. Time was still frozen. But I can't escape it. I'm doomed. It knows what I did with Dr. Decker. It's been taunting me. It wanted me to follow it, so I did. It brought me here, Doctor. Here. It thinks I killed Dr. Decker. I'm sure of it. I took his body. It was me. I took it from the coffin because I didn't want him put in the ground. I don't know what I was going to do with him. I just didn't think burial would be enough. Maybe I would cremate him. But the body disappeared. If only he'd been cremated like you will be. I have a private tool shed at the graveyard. I moved his body in there before the burial. But when I came back, he'd gone. It was locked and he'd gone. How did that happen, Doctor? How did Decker do that? Perhaps. It had crossed my mind that Dr. Decker perhaps resurrected himself. Maybe he wasn't dead, just sleeping. If someone else moved Decker, they'd had to have picked the lock, moved the body, and then locked up again. Why go to the trouble of locking up again? It's not out of the question to think that Dr. Decker teleported himself out of the tool shed. If I can do it, he probably can. That's the kind of thing I've been thinking. But the thing that's been following me, it can teleport too. I think the thing might be Decker. Is the thing Decker? And so it is. You worried me then, Doctor. I thought you were starting to believe in the unbelievable too. Jessica has had a restraining order taken out against me and her daughter. I showed her the photos and then the rest is a blur. She was screaming, hitting me, pushing me away. In hindsight, Showing her the photos might not have been the best thing to do. I stole a heart. I thought maybe my kleptomania would stop if I took something significant. It only occurs to me now that the heart I took was in a storage facility in a hospital and that it was probably for a transplant patient. I don't know if it's cured me. I've tried to avoid my extra hour. I tried to sleep through it. I did try one thing. I spied on you, Doctor. You have a strangeness, don't you? You live in the same house as Dr. Decker. I spied on him several times, so I know the house very well. You kept it almost entirely the same. Why did you live in the same house as Dr. Decker? Is it a perk? Or you, Dr. Decker? Thought it might be a perk. I'm sorry I spied on you. I was just getting worried that you weren't who you said you were. Just some mannerisms, strangeness. It's good you've adopted his dog, though. I'm not sure many people would have done. I didn't steal Decker's pad. I didn't have to. If I wanted to use it, I could just teleport in here and steal a sheet. Why take the whole pad? Why be that obvious? Well, kudos to whoever had the guts to do that. Wasn't me. What did they say? You've piqued my interest now. I tried to sleep through my extra hour. I didn't want to face it. That thing has been taunting me. I wish I was still religious. The thing that's following me, it doesn't have a face. I saw it close up when it was standing over me. It has no face, no eyes, no mouth, no nothing. Inside its hood is just space. Just a black hole.
I think you know Dr. Decker, so you're going to have a good day. Can we talk a bit about hypnotism, though?